I am so jacked up to be here. This edition of The Drive for Tuesday, June 25th. Benjamin Garcia filling in for Jody Ayler today on the show. The NBA draft is tomorrow. Just insanity that, unlike the NFL draft where you're counting the days, you get in this lull. You genuinely are like, what day is it? Oh, it's March. The NFL draft is in April. And then you find out, oh, it's late April. The NBA draft, not nearly to the extent of the NFL draft are we excited for, but it just sneaks up on you every single year. If you want to point and laugh a little bit that the NBA draft is tomorrow, the Lakers have barely had a head coach. Officially yesterday, but they barely had a head coach since last Thursday. They've had less than a week to prep for the draft with their head coach. If that's not a dysfunctional organization, I don't know what is. Genuinely, I don't know what is. But the NBA draft tomorrow, and don't forget the NBA draft, the second round, which is the equivalent of the round 7 of the NFL draft, will be taking place on Thursday. I don't understand it, but will I be watching like a degenerate sports addict? Oh, you best believe it. Let's rank, before I give you 3 names, and if you've been listening on the show, you might have already picked up on them. Benjamin Garcia filling in for Jody Ayler. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. And we're also going to do a giveaway here in just a minute. A 4-pack of tickets to the Tempe 4th of July celebration. The Tempe 4th of July celebration is back, bigger and better for 2024 as its original home, at its original home. Tempe Beach Park. Enjoy an evening of games, food, ice-cold beverages, entertainment for kids, and live music throughout the day. Get your tickets at tempe4th.com. We will talk and we will give those away there in just a minute. The Phoenix Suns have 3 glaring issues in the NBA draft. Here's where I believe they are. The biggest one, and it's not close, guys, is the wing position. There is a supply and demand issue with the big wings in the NBA. Not a lot of supply, huge demand for it. The Suns also need someone who's a bit mature. They can't just have someone out there. I am speaking to this as if the Phoenix Suns are going championship or bust. So if they're going championship or bust, they also need a player that doesn't necessarily, a year ago, a year out of prom, basically. They need a more mature player in my eyes, if that's indeed where they want to go. They also need to get way more athletic. Way more athletic for this Suns team. They're just not there. Devin Booker is obviously a great player. He's not that athletic. He's just not that athletic. Clearly, he's athletic to the sense that he's in the NBA, but to the extent of the Anthony Edwards types, the Paul George types even at times, that's what we're looking for. And then the Phoenix Suns, that being their glaring number 1 overall weakness, wing depth, wing starters, height, and a guy that can defend on the wing. Their second biggest piece that they need is a big man, a backup big. They need that desperately. So I've got 3 names that we'll talk about, as well as finally their third biggest need, point guard. I'll give you that, Suns fans, point guard. With the caveat of this, they draft a point guard, he's not starting. You're not taking Bradley Beal or Devin Booker out of the lineup, although we've toyed with that option before of sending Bradley Beal to the bench. Tyler Kolek is a name to look out for the Phoenix Suns. That's my first name. Tyler Kolek fits a decent amount of needs for the Suns. He can be the TJ McConnell type, which I believe we only comp him to because he's white and TJ McConnell is also white. They do play a similar style of game, but it is kind of interesting how we do compare those Caucasians. 15 points a game, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. A do-it-all, gritty player. That's what the Suns need. But even more so, a senior. A guy who's been battle-tested. A guy that understands how to play the game. This isn't some 18-year-old. Tyler Kolek, a senior from Marquette, can fit a lot of the needs the Phoenix Suns have. Secondly, Tristan da Silva, another senior from Colorado, 6'8", big body, maybe closer to his ceiling than he is his floor. I'm okay with that. We're not asking for him to come and save the franchise. Tristan da Silva, my second guy, 6'8", 220. Do you know how desperately the Suns need a guy who's 6'8", 220 on this team that can body up someone, that can perimeter defend, and can score the basketball a little bit? Tristan da Silva, number 2. And my favorite player in the draft, a 6'6" sophomore, a forward, plays bigger than he is, probably the best defensive player in the draft, a high flyer, needs to work on his three-point shooting, needs to work on his shooting in general, which may have him fall. Ryan Dunn. I love Ryan Dunn in this draft. An athletic, defensive-minded presence. The Phoenix Suns need that guy. I'm cool with Tyler Kolek. That's fine. It doesn't solve the biggest issue the Phoenix Suns have. The biggest issue the Phoenix Suns have is at the wing position. And although I really like Tristan da Silva, who's a little bit older than Ryan Dunn adds what the Phoenix Suns need. Can get to the rim, an athletic forward, probably the best defensive player in the draft that knows his role, that can do the dirty work, as well as be an athletic forward that can get to the rim and make jaw-dropping plays. He's got to work on the shooting a little bit. I get that. But if the Phoenix Suns can come out of this draft with a starting caliber wing player in Ryan Dunn, that is a win for this Suns team. Ryan Dunn should be at the top of everyone's draft boards. Tyler Kolek, I know the Suns like him. He's a point guard. He's small. This team needs to get bigger. I understand the Suns have point guard issues, but the biggest issue for the Phoenix Suns is in the front court, and more specifically, their length and their size and their defense. Ryan Dunn helps add to all of this with a little bit lesser of an extent of this size matter. You want him to be a little bit bigger, but a guy that's probably the best defensive player in the draft, I'm not going to complain so much. If the Phoenix Suns can get their hands on Ryan Dunn, it will be a successful NBA draft.